Welcome to CIT 262 Group 5's presentation on Conway's Law and Team Design, taken from Chapter 7 of the DevOps Handbook. Let's jump right into it. So first of all, we're going to talk about, as I mentioned, Conway's Law and how that can affect team design and the output on a project that team is in charge of. So the first, we'll look at the structure of the product and how it mirrors the structure of an organization. For example, if you have an isolated and poorly separated team, then you're going to have a poorly designed product that also produces and objects the experience that features components that are also isolated and separated. If you have a synergistic and a unified team, well, that's going to produce a cohesively designed product that produces a desirable and useful product that attracts customers and meets their specific needs. So you need to use Conway's Law to your advantage, as poor implementation may prevent teams from working safely and independently. So if you break this law, as stated by Copeland and Harrison in July of 2004 in Organizational Patterns of Agile Software Development, if the parts of an organization, in other words, the teams, the departments, or the subdivisions, do not closely reflect the essential parts of the product, or if the relationship between those organizations do not reflect the relationship between the product parts, then the project will be in trouble. Therefore, make sure that the organization is compatible with your product architecture. So you have to build your team as a reflection of what you want to build. Failure to do so results in an apt example of an airplane being designed by culinary students. And who would want to fly on that? So your team construction, there's two major terms of thought in terms of team construction. You can have functional-oriented organizations or market-oriented organizations. You can also have matrix-oriented organizations, which are going to be a combination of the two, but we won't go into depth on that type of organization for now. So your functional-oriented organizations are traditionally how those organizations have been organized. They separate your organization into specialized teams focusing on one function. So you'll have your server admins, your network admins, your database admins, InfoSec, development, whatever. You'll have those set up into a team. In contrast with that, market-oriented organizations, they're primarily developed for speed. That's considered more of your DevOps approach rather than your traditional waterfall approach. Those focus on responding to a customer needs quickly. Your teams are composed of multiple cross-functional disciplines. Think of your full-stack developer. And you often have redundancy across multiple teams. So more than one team can actually fulfill more than one role, making them highly agile. So in reference to functional-oriented teams, the bad thing about them is that you can create distance between your teams, which can lead to long wait times in every step. Imagine having testing waiting after development to fulfill a specific role in the product. This can create your horse blinder effect. The person or team performing your task doesn't understand how that work relates to the company goals at large. Now the good aspects of it, it can be very effective as long as everyone views their outcome as a shared goal. Mike Rother stated, as tempting as it seems, one cannot reorganize your way to continuous improvement and adaptiveness. What is decisive is not the form of the organization, but how people act and react. The roots of Toyota's success lie not in its organizational structures, but in developing capability and habits in its people. It surprises many people, in fact, to find that Toyota is largely organized in the traditional functional department style. So switching gears over to market-oriented, the bad aspect of it is teams may lack some certain expertise in an area that they need. While everyone is supposed to be a full-stack developer, it can sometimes be difficult for someone that is particularly good, say at system administration, to have the developer tools that they need to successfully code a product, for example. Now, the good aspect of it, while market-oriented is generally what is recommended to achieve a DevOps outcome, small teams will be able to develop, test, and implement their work much quicker. So, how that might be able to cripple us if we don't have the right team orientation. So any of the following can severely limit the ability of a team to produce an effective software system if you don't plan for proper growth and scalability. If you force restraints, permissions, and bureaucracy upon your team, effectively coupling that team to the performance of another team. If you place different aspects of the team into different locations, so if you put your developers and testers, operations and InfoSec all in different floors or even different time zones, that is going to make it difficult for your team to produce results. And then furthermore, if you outsource any aspect of your process to an outside contractor, they typically don't have the vested interest that someone within the organization is going to have. Now, on the flip side, it can some of the reverse of those can make you successful. As it has been noted, fragmented team design leads to fragmented software, and the proper investment in a team will pay long-lasting dividends when it comes to maintenance and upkeep of a software system, which is going to be where the majority of your costs are in a software system, is in the upkeep. If a software system is going to work efficiently from input to output, it needs to have a team composition from design to implementation and everything in between. One of my favorite quotes from the DevOps Handbook on page 87 is, by encouraging everyone to learn, as well as providing training and support, we create the most sustainable and least expensive way to create greatness in our teams by investing in the development of the people that we already have. So Conway's Law can elevate a project to success or doom it to failure. The way it can influence a project is evident from the simplest of tasks to the most complex ventures. For example, look at how has it influenced every presentation that has been done so far in this class. You will notice that every member of a team on the class is going to have a certain amount and section of input in the presentation, and that's going to be fairly easy to see. A large software undertaking will be no different. If a project is to be flexible, adapt to scale, and work efficiently in different areas, then the team that designs it needs to have those characteristics as well. Thank you.